What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 49. The Locked In Podcast, your home for personal development tips, sports news, music, and more. Guys, we're back in the building tonight, and it's that time of the year again. We're talking about football. It's football season. Philadelphia Eagles basically going to be recapping this past Sunday's game against the Falcons. It was an outright win. We're going to talk a little bit about the future of the NFL season for the Eagles, and we'll also discuss this upcoming week's matchup against the 49ers. Probably going to be a lot more difficult. As always, I'm your host for the evening, Steve Ushler. My co-host, George Menchai, will be in shortly, but we are joined by a returning guest to the podcast. Please welcome back my boy, Rich Mitchell, man. Glad to have you in here tonight, man.
How you doing? How's everything?
Good, man. Good. So basically, I played that like little initial intro to bring us in, and I'm just gonna play this quick one real quick, and then we'll get started. So I'm gonna play this other intro. It actually has an Eagles hype video in it too, so excited to play it.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's go.
Coaching candidate.
I think there's going to be a few teams that nobody picks to win the division, like not a single person. And I think Philadelphia will be one of those teams.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
Singing my heartache from a pain, taking my message from my veins, speaking my lesson from my brain, seeing the beauty through the hoop. Hey, you baby, are you baby, I'm a believer. Hey, you break me down, you build me up,
At my individual success, I'm not worried, but I'm just trying to do whatever I can to get this team, this city to another championship, and that's really all I'm worried about.
Your spirit up above. To the ground, open my feelings, do it down. Really never did, ever lived, ever never went inhibited, limited till it broke up and it rained down. It rained down. Hey, you baby, are you baby, I'm a believer. Hey, you break me down, you build me up, believer. Let the bullets fly, let them rain. My love, my target keeps on moving. Baby, I'm a believer.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast. Excited to be in it tonight. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Eagles. If you just saw our intro there, hope you guys enjoyed that hype video. But after this week's win, I'm pretty sure most of Philadelphia is pretty hype. And I got to give you props, bro. I mean, I know it was Atlanta, but man, you definitely were calling like a big season for the Eagles this year, man. And you were calling it before a lot of people.
Definitely, man. I mean, I just have all the confidence in Jalen Hurts. Just some of the things that I've seen last year, you've seen those flashes last year. Even though he went 1-3, he still had a lot of good plays. And that's what a lot of people forget is on a bad team thrown in the middle of the season this team was in chaos, man. This team's offensive line, I believe we had about 13, 14 different lineup changes in the offensive line last year. So for him to come out and actually ball against the Saints, I was surprised that he even did that last year. So right when he balled against the Saints, I started saying to myself, imagine this guy on the Eagles team that's put together. Imagine this guy with a full offseason. Remember his first season, he wasn't able to have training camp because of COVID. You know, a lot of people forget that, you know, but imagine this guy with a full offseason and just a clear direction.
Exactly. A sense of identity, I would say, with a new coach in the locker room as well. You know, you're completely right. There was a lot of chaos that was going on inside of our locker room last year, obviously, with the whole Wentz scenario. And I love Carson Wentz, but I just think I'm not quite sure. There was just a lot of dysfunction kind of going on inside that locker room. Obviously, Doug Peterson as well. A lot of moves I would question, like he'd make on game day. You know, I think it was ironic. At first, I really thought that it was kind of a bad move getting rid of Wentz and Peterson. Now I'm kind of starting to see maybe it actually was. I kind of wanted Howie Roseman out of here too, to be honest, but I'm kind of thinking it might have been the right move now to kind of just move on from Peterson as well. I just think that, you know, for a long time, for like the last few years, we just been kind of stuck in the Super Bowl year. You know what I mean? Like trying to like hold on to things that had happened in 2018, the 2017 season, but 2018 Super Bowl. You know, I think it's good for a fresh start. But you're absolutely right, man. You know, it's a fresh season for Hurts now, a full off season, as you just said. And I'm excited to see what the kid can do. And just looking at his stat from last week, I know we were actually out there, but we were keeping tabs on it. Man, 264 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And then on the ground, 62 yards, man. So in total, he had 326 yards. Man, like that's a good game. I know it's Atlanta, but still, man, not bad for the first game of the season.
No, definitely not. I mean, he's a true dual threat quarterback, and that's something, you know, I think that after Carson Wentz's first injury, you know, with his torn ACL there, I think it was very difficult for him to get back into the groove of being, you know, a full dual threat. I think a lot of confidence was hurt there, you know, like Howie Roseman said, you know, we had 4 playoff appearances and he was in none of them, you know, or he was not able to finish out any of them, you know, and so that's very important, you know, you know, talent is important, but I think availability is a little bit more important too. You know what I mean? Look at Eagles history with our quarterbacks here. Most of the time, especially in the playoffs, going all the way back to McNabb, you know, even, you know, Doug was a backup quarterback. He had to play backup too for McNabb, I believe. And you know, injuries, man, it would just always kill us in the long run, you know. I don't know if you remember those early 2000 runs that we had with Donovan McNabb, you know, where, you know, around the end of the season he'd get hurt here and there, you know, and that was just it. That was the end of the season. So hopefully, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing Hurts. I mean, he doesn't seem like he has, you know, let me cross my fingers here and let me not jinx it, but he doesn't seem to have an extensive injury history. You know, he doesn't seem to have issues with injuries, you know?
Definitely, man. And I loved what you kind of said there. I think that was so key. You said, you know, talent, you know, is important, but availability is more important. And I think that goes a long way in the NFL in particular, man, because it's a sport. Like, let's be realistic. The NFL is a next man up league. It really is, because injuries are so prevalent in the NFL. It's not like basketball where, like, obviously if you don't have talent in basketball, you're not winning the NBA championship. I know it's a team sport, but you have to have some solid talent on your team. If you don't, you're not winning the NBA championship. It's cut and dry. In football, you just never know, man. If you got a solid group of guys who were like kind of like a family, kind of like we had in that 2018 year or 2017 year, but 2018 Super Bowl. I will say a little bit of luck definitely was involved there, man. We were able to just do everything right, but man, that was the most together team I had ever seen, I had ever watched in Eagles history. But it's a next man up league. You saw Wentz went down. What sport when your key player goes down? Like, can you win a championship? Like in the NFL, like, see, Carson Wentz went down, but next man up, man. And we were still able to make it happen. So I agree with you 100%. Availability is probably the most important in football, particularly.
Yes, most definitely. And you know, cross my heart on this, but Jalen Hurts also another factor having to do with the availability that we're talking about right now. Look at how Hurts played on Sunday. If you look at some of his highlights, if you look at some of this guy knew when to run out of bounds. He knew when to slide. He knew when to get rid of the ball. He just knew when to throw it away. He knew when a play was dead. Just give it up. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to play hero ball. Sometimes, look at Dak Prescott, and I was definitely wrong about this, but, sometimes it's just good to be a good game manager. Sometimes that's all it takes to get you to win a game, and make it to the end of the season. And maybe during the playoffs, you can take a little bit bigger risk because, you're going all in here. It's one and done type of situations. But when you're in a regular season, it may be just wise just to play game manager. Live to fight another day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's gonna be interesting. The next, speaking of Dallas, man, like now everybody's kind of I'm one of the people that like I still kind of want to see what the Eagles do in the next couple of weeks. But obviously, it was a very impressive outright win on Sunday. But speaking of Dallas, Dallas also played very well last week. Shockingly, very well. I didn't know how Prescott was going to come back, like from the injury or how he was going to be in game one. But Dallas obviously played very, very well against Tampa. And realistically, if they called that offensive pass interference call, if anybody was watching that game, as Brady was driving down the field to hit the game-winning field goal or to set them up to win the game-winning field goal, there was actually an offensive pass interference. I think it was on Godwin, and it wasn't called. It's in Tampa Bay, so expect it. But had that been in Dallas and they got that call, Dallas probably wins the game. So it was an impressive game by Dallas. I'm still up in the air in who I want to wait to see the Eagles the next couple weeks. Like over, we play the Niners this weekend. This is going to be a big test. As well as the Cowboys actually Monday Night Football the next week for week 3. So about in a week and a half. We got Dallas, who obviously I just said they look like a very good team. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know what it is with Dallas, man. They just got bad luck. Like something will happen. Like I'm seeing all these players. Like, did you see Lyle Collins got like 6 weeks? It was like 6 weeks for like he got like a 6-week suspension for like not passing a drug test or not taking one or something. I'm like, man, Dallas just always finds ways to shoot themselves in the foot.
I mean, and then DeMarcus Lawrence, of course, breaking his toe too, big one. So, I mean, I agree with you, man. I mean, I go back to kind of what I don't really reference ESPN or a lot of the big networks. I kind of like to keep things in town, or I like the content creators. But one thing I will reference is that Stephen A. Smith is right about is what can go wrong will go wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. This is something that we've been consistently seeing for the past 20 years. What can go wrong will go wrong in Dallas, seems like.
You're right, man. And this is coming from like I'm not even being biased. Dallas just always finds ways, man. It's like either bad luck or, they got some type of curse going on in Dallas, man. What can go wrong will go wrong. And I don't know, man. Even if Dallas does win the division, their chances of winning a Super Bowl, they had a good chance when Prescott's first year. They were like 13-3. And then Rodgers came along and as he always does with Dallas, he foiled their plans. But man, we'll show some highlights too from that Falcons game. I'll pull up in like a little bit, but man, that was a nice outright win. I saw the Eagles allowed no second half points. That was also probably, I think I believe Atlanta went for it a few times in late in the game because probably because they were down so much. But still, man, it's impressive to not allow any points in the second half. So defense stepped up, and they kept Atlanta to only, I think, combined like 200 and I believe it was like 50 yards.
Yeah,
Combined.
and listen, I want to emphasize this. I'm actually going to pick up my screen and kind of zoom this in. I'm going to emphasize this for the crowd and anyone who's watching. Do not listen to the national media when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me tell you why. The national media has so much to cover. They have so many teams, so many things that they're covering. And a lot of the teams that aren't, the big teams, the ones that have, the Dallas Cowboys, the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, we can go down the list. The ones that aren't garnering the most attention, if a team like the Philadelphia Eagles has one bad season, it's a team that usually the national media usually counts out very quickly, right? Now, it's a lot of things that weren't done. It's a lot of research and a lot of things that I've caught. A lot of national media networks just getting things wrong, whether it be stats, whether it be, Jalen Hurts' time in college, And to be honest with you, this is one thing that I've never heard the national media talk about is how well his throwing ability had improved from Alabama to Oklahoma. If you listen to the national media, they're always talking about Jalen Hurts' time at Alabama. They're not ever really now. That changed this week, because just his performance. I mean, all they could do was reference his time at Oklahoma. He had such a great throwing performance at his time at Oklahoma. I mean, his accuracy, everything just went up at Oklahoma. And one thing I'd like to say is, to go on your point here, the defense not allowing point the second half. What does that say? What does that say about the offense? What does that say about special teams? Why was the defense able to do that? Another thing that's not talked about a whole lot is how well our special teams played that game. It kept keeping them on the other end of the field, keeping them behind the 25-yard line for most of the game, most of their starting drive, second half. So that's very important.
Definitely is, man. It really is. And, man, how about Devontae Smith in his debut, man? 71 yards, 6 receptions, 1 touchdown. Man, that's fire. Devontae, man. I really think, I know it's game 1, but, I heard somebody say this, and he might be right. We might have our first legitimate number 1 receiver since Terrell Owens. And that's no disrespect to Deshaun Jackson. I just feel like Deshaun Jackson, obviously, he didn't have enough time here. He had a lot of time here, but Chip Kelly kind of, bonehead decision. Guess cuts Deshaun Jackson for the wrong reasons. But, yeah, this might be our legitimate, for the first time we've had a number 1 receiver, probably since Terrell Owens. Man, I'm excited to kind of see what Devontae Smith can do. His impressive debut for sure. Rager had a good game as well. Goddard had a touchdown. Sanders actually quietly had a good game, 74 yards, averaging like 5 yards a carry. So Sanders quietly had a good game as well.
Yeah, that is a nice, quiet, good game. One thing I want to say about Devontae Smith that I wanted to piggyback off of what you just said. I mean, that touchdown catch, those yards, everything. Look at his stats and compare his stats to a lot of these other rookies that were hyped up. This guy is just hitting the ground running pretty much. So I'm very excited as well about Devontae Smith and his ability. He catches the ball, and once, it sounds so cliche, but once you see, a leading number 1 wide receiver in your wide receiver group that's consistently catching the ball, something Eagles haven't had in a long time. But to see this guy consistently catch whatever's thrown his way, Rager's in the first-round pick too. He's looking at that. A lot of these guys, who are young still. I mean, we have one of the youngest wide receiver groups in the NFL. So they're looking up to this first-round draft pick. even though he's a rookie, this guy is showing out, and they definitely they're definitely going to want some of that sauce too.
Yeah, for sure. When you have a great like a number one on your team, you know that like it was even kind of like I will say Deshaun Jackson. Like when you have like a number one on your team, like a Terrell Owens, a Deshaun Jackson in his prime, Terrell Owens in his prime. You know, you have to kind of you know eventually they're going to get double teams, which is actually great because it opens the field up for the rest of the receivers. Devontae Smith looks like he's going to be able to pose that threat. You know, what will his health pose? You know, down the line we'll see, but you know, like he looks legitimate. He looks like he has the talent. And for the first time in a little while, Howie Roseman made the good first round pick, the one that you should have made, like because he was on the board. I know Eagles fans were gonna lose their mind if they didn't take him. It's like, man, he's right there. But Howie made the right decision there. He took the obvious. So I feel like Howie sometimes tries to think he's the smartest man in the room, and he tries to act like he can see things that other people can't. And the thing about it is like if he didn't take Devontae Smith, I was like, man, this organization is gonna lose their mind, this whole fan base. But he made the right decision. It was cut and dry, in my opinion. You know, he was in the top top receivers that were in the draft, if not the best. We got him. So I'm excited, man. This is a young team. This is gonna be I feel like this is gonna be a fun year. Looks like George is coming in now. When his device connects, I'll bring him in. But man, definitely some fire, man. You definitely some knowledge there. I'm actually gonna play some highlights while we get George in here quick. I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna play them all, but let me see.
Yeah, let's hit them highlights. Let's see.
Let's definitely see. Excited to see. Let's see what we got here. All right, here's George. Let me introduce George in real quick before we do.
Jalen Hurts hat, baby.
I like the hat, bro. Hey, what's up, George? What's up, man? Glad to have you in here, man. All right, we just got to the portion where we're just gonna share some Eagles highlights real quick. I'm actually just gonna share my screen real quick. Let's share up. Boom. I like how it's like green and it's like.
Here we go. Here we go.
A little blurry.
Into Eagles territory. Four-man rush. Ryan floats one. Caught Ridley. First down. 3rd and 7. Ryan pressure throws. It is called and held on to. Ryan, time throwing. Back away. Incomplete. Ward, he was sensational last year. Pro Bowl nod to boot. And the 21-yarder is up and good. So Atlanta, first 25, they'll throw it real quick. To Watkins, his first chance. Good speed. First to throw it again. Same play other side. Watkins on the block. Watkins with the speed. Another first down. Second down and 8. This time, Hurts going to keep a lot of room inside the 30. Jalen Hurts. Hurts looking left, lofting left, going for the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. Devontae Smith first.
Guys, there was the Devontae Smith touchdown, man. That was beautiful. I'm just gonna rewind it just a little bit, man. That was such a beautiful route run, man. Such a nice touch pass by Hurts, man.
Hurts.
Look at that.
Lofting left.
Woo! Beautiful back shoulder throw to the right-hand side of Devontae Smith for his first career touchdown in the NFL.
And first official catch, like not preseason, first official catch in the NFL was a touchdown. Right. Man.
It's good. It's a good sign.
Yo, I want to see something. I want to see when the Falcons scored their next 3 points, man, because I kind of want to see like how long they were shut out in this game real quick. See when they kick that next field goal.
They'll start it off to Patterson getting a run. Across the 20. It's cut for Patterson. Flag flies from the secondary as Cordero Patterson.
Holding. Defense number 98.
That was a holding call. Man, this is a nice game.
It's in the slot for Atlanta. They're going to run to Patterson again. Good roll. First down and more. And the Falcons on the ground.
He says it's like being traded, but staying in the same place. Marcus Epps talked about he's being evaluated for a head injury.
Second down. Patterson again. Good play. Patterson still has the speed into Eagles territory and down to the 33. Third down and 9. Four-man rush. Ryan in trouble. Pressure stays up. Tucks and runs. Ryan showing the legs. Diving. Did he get there? It is close. Fourth down. Ryan going to throw over the middle. It's pitched. Did he get enough? He caught it. Now where did he catch it? Right there. Looks like he's going to have enough. But boy, is that close. Oh, he got a good spot. Fourth down. Ryan going to throw over the middle. It's pitched. Did he get enough? He caught it. Now where did
They replayed the same thing.
Definitely did.
Yeah, they did.
No, so they essentially shut them out. There you go, right here. 7-6. They essentially shut them out 3 quarters. That's crazy. They shut them out 3 quarters. Like, yo, like you see when they scored the 6, they didn't score any points the rest of the game.
And remember all that Kyle Pitts hype. Now, remember all the Kyle Pitts hype. Remember, we couldn't stop hearing it over and over. Just Kyle Pitts is gonna burn the Eagles. You know, Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. How the Eagles defense gonna stop these guys? And look at this, man.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think Kyle Pitts is going to be good in this league. But yeah, a lot of people were talking trash week 1. Like it's early. Like Kyle Pitts is new to the league, just like Devontae Smith. But we like people were like saying that maybe we could have took Pitt. But I know the Falcons got him first. But you know they're like, trade up to get Pitts. But we don't need a tight. We got Dallas Goedert. We don't need a tight. We need a receiver. Like it was the right move to get Devontae Smith. Like it's the clear correct move. You know we already got Dallas Goedert. We don't need a Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is tight end. People are just people always find ways to complain. And let me see if I can find some of these other touchdown highlights. Let's see.
So this was like a pretty decent game, and we got to watch it. I mean, here it kind of play by play, but looks like pretty good. We did good the first, the opening game of the season.
There it
Actual
is, right
season,
there.
not the preseason,
There it is, right there. Let's see. 10 the first half.
Want to accomplish your work goals faster?
They gotta get it in. We gotta get their money in.
Yeah, they gotta pay the bills.
Whoa! 3 seconds left.
And scoring with 2 seconds left in the half. Hurts gonna hand it off. 4-2 is Sanders.
Yo, man, that was a nice move by Jalen Hurts, man. Like, yeah, like in the back pocket, man. Getting away from the pressure, man. Throwing on the run. That was a nice play, man. A very nice play.
Like I said, he knows how to game manage, but then on top of that, he just knows when to do what. Like whatever he's supposed to do. If you notice, look at that game. When did you really see? He had a few incompletions here. But outside of that, really, to be honest with you, that's kind of what you want out of a quarterback. You want incompletions. You don't want interceptions. I'd rather there be an incompletion or you just throw it away than for you to give the opportunity for the other team's moral to go up from an interception. So well done, Jalen Hurts. This is probably his best game to me in the NFL so far in general. I look forward to seeing him, against the San Francisco 49ers. This new system, new coach. No one knew what to expect, and this guy came out this week and balled out.
This week is going to be the challenge, right, man? I'm excited. I can't wait till Sunday,
dude,
man.
The first home game, I'm saying, bro. I can't wait too, man.
The opponent, too. It's going to be a good opponent. It's going to be a good opponent against San Fran. Is no slouch.
Dude, I was saying, no slouch. Well, Atlanta's also been decent. We played them in the past. They made the Super Bowl like 4 years ago, but they're falling off a little. And I think we played them like 2 seasons ago. I remember, I think we took the L in that one, but I think
they're not the same team that they were though.
They're not. That's all other thing too. That's a good point. They've changed a lot too. And for us, that was a pretty good start. And like Rich said, I'm kind of excited about the next game too. And of course, the third game against the Cowboys. It's a whole other topic, But
Atlanta's in the top 5 worst teams in football. I'd probably say. Here looks like the other touchdown here. So what else I got? I think that was. I know Hurts had another throwing touchdown. Oh yeah, it was the Rager one, right? He hit Rager.
Yep.
Let me see if I can find that. Yep, there it is. It's right here, right about here. Hargrave had 2 sacks, by the way. There it is.
Speed, man.
There it is.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. This D-line has become a force in a 3rd and 13. Ryan pressured again, throws, diving, and did he make it? Right foot down.
The previous play, the pass was incomplete.
Did a knee get down? Did a knee get in? Oh, it's not close.
That's not close.
And they have got a force. Ryan pressured again and dropped again. 62 yards rushing. Here's Gainwell has had a big rollout, a touchdown from the rookie. As Myers and Darrell Johnson have the goal there. Here's Elliott on the field goal, and it's up and good. This game, though, is going to go to the Eagles in a rousing way. As Nick Sirianni, in his head coaching debut, going to take home a W.
So huge win, obviously, there for the Eagles. Huge win. A lot to like, obviously, on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, quietly, Hargraves 2 sacks. I think there was another sack, so I forget who had the other sack, but Hargraves had 2 of them. Definitely big, but big win for Sirianni. Looks like the guys are playing for him, and yeah, it was a nice touchdown for, all 3 guys had nice touchdowns. Goddard, it was, what you could pick apart from that one, obviously, is Jalen Hurts' pocket awareness, him getting out of the pocket before the end of the first half. The throw and the run to Goddard. Obviously, the touch pass to Devontae Smith was a big one, and then Rager, making some moves like on the screen and just running it in for the touchdown. A lot to like on all 3 touchdowns, quite honestly. And then obviously, Gainwell had one where he ran it in, but.
So, what did you take away from this win, Steve? Like, what did you think about this win? What did you take away? You think that, like, we're slowly, kind of coming back to where we be, and we're kind of like a little complete as a team, or we still got a lot of work, obviously?
You can't really say they have a lot of work based off that, I would say, because, they won the game. They won big. But it's a quiet, good win, I would say, because, obviously we have some big competition coming our way. The remainder of this season. How about you, Richmond? Is that kind of how you feel as well, man? Like quiet confidence, like it was a nice outright win.
Solid win.
We'll have some.
It was a nice team win. Everyone in every facet of the game, offense, defense, special teams, everyone contributed. I give the Eagles 100%. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I'm about to say something. I don't want anyone to get offended. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I love this performance. Everything about this performance, it shows me that the Eagles are going in a great direction. One thing I will say, please, with the Eagles, just clean up the penalties. We had 14 penalties that game. Just clean up. One thing I would just say for the Eagles, we could get away with that with the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see. Let's lower that penalty, because I don't think we'll be able to get away with something like that with the San Francisco 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys getting away with that many penalties in this game.
Facts. Definitely clean it up on the penalty side. I think Atlanta had only like 2 or 3 less penalties than us. I think the refs called a lot of penalties in that game overall. I was listening to somebody earlier in the week on Sports Talk, and they said there was a lot overall. I would say usually this is like the protocol with the refs. The beginning of the season, the refs tend to throw a lot of flags, I feel. Not quite sure what the analytics are on that, but I feel like they throw a lot of flags to start the season, and then kind of players start to adjust, and I feel like the refs will lay off a little bit in terms of the flags. But absolutely, obviously, no game is good when you have a ton of penalties that are being called or a ton of flags. So definitely something to clean up. Facts there for sure. And you're right. You might not get away with that with, better teams like Dallas and, San Francisco. San Fran, I'm curious to see with their defensive front how our pass, our offensive line holds up. The good thing is Jalen Hurts is mobile, but they got some boys, they got some dogs. They got Nick Bosa, they got some boys on that team that, especially specifically on the defense, that can play well. And then also, who is it? Deebo Samuel had what did he have? 180 yards last week. Deebo Samuel lit it up. I gotta pull that statistic, but man, I'm hoping we can kind of hang. Let me see. I think we could win. I'm not going to say that we are going to win. I think we definitely could win.
Right.
It's in our building too, so we're home, which is great. I'm about to check that stat real quick on Deebo Samuel. He had a big game. Yeah, 41-33. But one positive to take away: the Lions almost came back in that game. They were down 3 scores and they made it to within 1 score. They almost came back.
The Lions, decent team. I know somebody likes the Lions too.
Deebo Samuel, 189 yards on 9 receptions. Man.
Derek Barnett, Sean Bradley. Okay.
He averaged 21 yards. Kittle had 4 receptions for 78. He averaged 19.5 yards. George Kittle always lights us up. I'm okay with George Kittle getting his yards as long as we don't allow Deebo Samuel to get over 100 yards as well. If both those players get going, I think it makes it challenging for us to win the game. But we have to hold one of them in check. I feel like Kittle's going to get his. But man, 100, almost 200 yards in week 1 for Deebo Samuel. That's whoever had him in fantasy definitely cleaned up.
Definitely got that money there. One thing I will say about next week regarding the 49ers, it's at home, just like Nick Sirianni said, this time it's in Philly. So they're going to have to come to our house. They're going to have to come, and we're going to have the energy of the fans back. It's going to be the first time in a long time. I'm talking about regular season. I understand we had a couple preseason games. That's nice where we had the fans over, but this is the first regular season game where we're getting the link is going to be bumping. And when the link, Eagles just 10. Eagles are just one of those teams that we play even better at home. So I'm hoping that going into the Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts era, I hope that remains the same. We play lights out at home.
Agreed, man. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And I'll tell you from firsthand, I was down at the Eagles versus Steelers preseason game about a month ago. And man, I've been to a few preseason games. I've never seen a preseason game so packed in my life. Never. I've never ever seen an Eagles preseason game that packed. So that goes to show, man, with COVID, with not being able to have full capacity at the stadium, you're absolutely right, man. The Eagles fans are already nuts and hype usually, but man, after COVID and now everybody piling back into the stadium at full capacity, that place is going to be bumping Sunday. Absolutely bumping, especially after that big win, for sure. And
that's what I'm saying, bro.
After this week, we're going to have a lot to take away because if the Eagles win this game against this 49ers team, you best believe there's going to be a lot of positivity being talked in the city, man. This is going to be a big week.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, you see this big smile on my face, right? There's a big smile on my face. I want to say one thing. Sorry, I'm going to let you go, George, in 1 second. It's a big smile on my face because I know there's going to be some people on ESPN who's going to be shaving their eyebrows because they are already making the bets. If Eagles beat the 49ers, I'm shaving my eyebrows. I can't wait to see it.
What? They're shaving their eyebrows.
Oh, yeah. People are shaving their eyebrows on national. Yeah, they're going to be showing up on national television.
On ESPN, he said. That's great. I want to see this too, actually. I didn't hear about this one, Rich. This is funny. So I have to say 2 things, right? Number one, so obviously this was a good game and we're kind of on a roll. So all right, guys, how do you guys see this, right? Let's just not jump too ahead. But if the Eagles were to win the next 2 games and then even beat the Cowboys, aka Cowgirls, that would be actually amazing. But let me tell you guys something: two in a row, bro. If we beat the 49ers on home field advantage, bro, that's gonna speak values too, bro. Because like you're saying, Rich, I do agree with you. This is the first time with the new quarterback we're kind of getting a cycle, so to speak. Some new players, they're slowly starting to, look better. The preseason games showed a little, but this definitely was a great debut for this season for 2021, 2022. So, like I said right there, dude, second game. If we do win, bro, I don't want to jinx or nothing like that, but like I'm tuning in for sure, bro. You know, and I get to watch it from work, so either or, you know, I'm gonna watch the game, you know.
For
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
They'll set us up for the Cowboy game, and that's gonna be great. You guys definitely go on Facebook the night before during the game, but then don't go for a while, depending on how it goes, because all the fucking it's gonna be all nothing but like Eagles and Cowboys related stuff, you know, statuses. Your wall is gonna be crazy. All of ours, mine too. You know, every time football season starts, dude, my Facebook trims crazy. So
yeah, there's some interesting news.
What we got now
this week? I'm just noticing another linebacker for the Niners is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks as he undergoes surgery to repair his groin.
Surgery. Oh, surgery, just regular surgery. Okay.
Yeah, no, for his groin. Oh, and Raheem Mostert, I forgot, is missing 8 weeks with knee surgery. They're running back. So you know what? Some things are going to go our way. You know, like for this week. You know, that's obviously favors us. We don't have anything notable on our injury report. They got some injuries. Obviously, you always like to win at full strength, but I mean, hey, if it can help us get a W, man, I'm good with it. And this division, I don't think is that strong. Obviously, you know, what do they call it? The NFC least instead of the NFC East. So,
the what?
The NFC least. I'll be honest, like outside of. I really didn't think the Eagles were gonna, you know, be able to win the division this year, but you know, week 1 has me hopeful. But let's be realistic. The Giants, garbage. The Giants, I think there's no shot they win the division. Giants are just absolute garbage. Shout out to any Giants fans out there. You know, your team's garbage. So, but I know a few Giants fans. But
yeah,
Redskins just worry me offensively. They have Taylor Heineke. I mean, he had a good postseason game in the playoffs, but we don't really know what he is. And now with Fitzpatrick going down, you know, they got Heineke. Yeah, I think Fitzpatrick's he has some type of hip injury. So, you know, you got Heineke in there. Their defense is obviously top 5, which is the only possible reason that they possibly could be in the race to win the division, I think, is because of how good their defense is. Their defense is no joke. But other than that, you know, now if the Eagles can play well, it'll probably be Eagles and Dallas as usual. But we'll see what happens. Dallas obviously looks good. I mean, Dallas on the defensive end is suspect, but offensively, I can't deny Dallas is stacked on the offensive end. You got Amari Cooper, you've got CeeDee Lamb, you've got they got a lot of guys. Obviously, Ezekiel Elliott, you know.
Yeah, Dallas is no joke, bro, as always.
Yeah, Dallas.
I actually have so guys, I got the schedule right here. Some guy at work was cool enough to give me a little key card, so to speak, with a little hole. So I got the schedule here, right? I'm looking at it a little bit. To be honest, I like the teams we got to face, bro. It's good to get our first 2, just in case. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. We're more than likely gonna beat Dallas, but who knows? But if we're to lose to them, though, we still have good games to catch up on. So again, I'm hopeful, bro. And like Rich, I don't want to, you know, think too much, you know, in the future, you know, in terms of like, you know, let's kind of focus on a couple games, and we probably should do another episode on one of these things too, like down the line in October, or maybe, you know, possibly November. I know we're gonna miss some episodes and all that, but I mean, we could cover, because it depends. If they do well this season, man, I think we deserve, you know, for us to do another episode. I'm just saying, you know, how things go. So that's another one right there.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Cool.
Any more thoughts on the? Go ahead. What are you saying, Rich?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Of course, you know, you don't want to get ahead of yourself and overthink things, but you know, you can't help but think about it, because
exactly.
I mean, look at the schedule. I mean, we got the Bucks, we got the Chiefs on the schedule, we got, you know, Niners, we got some heavy hitters on the schedule. Now, if they want to sit here and call us in this NFC least or whatever, you know, national media to dig, you know, they love that. One thing I'll say this: if Eagles ball out against these teams, they're not going to be saying that no more. At least about the Eagles.
Exactly. I agree. Bro.
And how Dallas played against, you know, how Dallas played against Tampa. You know, I think Dallas can beat San Francisco. I think that, you know, that's just what I believe. I think the NFC, at least half of the NFC East, will be able to prove that we're still going to be competitors in the NFC in general.
In general, yeah.
True. I mean, and it's a lot to see. Obviously, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, man. And I'm looking after the Niners and Dallas, man. KC comes to Philly. We got to play the Chiefs. Then we got the Panthers on the road. That can be a win. Then we got the Bucks. We got Tom Brady, TB12.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was watching the game. By the way, real quick, guys, did anybody watch Ravens versus the Raiders? That was a crazy game, too.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah, I kind of see it a little bit before, but
I saw the highlights.
A lot of mistakes, but, Ravens got beat.
Speaking of the Raiders, then we got the Raiders after the Bucks on the road. We go to Las Vegas. I was actually looking at tickets to that game. I was thinking about going to Vegas for it. I was like, man, it's just it's too I actually might be in Vegas that week. We'll see. I might be in Vegas that week, but I'm probably not going to go. The game's going to be super expensive. I don't know if tickets drop, man. I'm out there, man. I'll definitely probably cop some and go. We'll see. I might be out there that week though. I'm not quite sure. Actually, you know what? Nah, if I am going, I'll probably be home right before that. Damn, yeah, I won't be out there that. So I'll be coming home like that Friday night. The game's on Sunday. We got the Lions after that. We got the Chargers, Broncos, Saints. Saints surprised me, man. Now they beat the Packers. Giants, Jets, Washington, Giants, Washington, Cowboys. So again, as usual, last 4 games of the season are division games. And the Jets. So wait, 5 of the last 6 games of the season are division games. Crazy. After the Cowboys, we don't play a division opponent until like week 12. That's wild. And the Jets are in there too. So, that could be a big stretch those last 6 games of the season. We play a lot of tough opponents in between.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
This could be anything, man. If say the Eagles win this week and they win next week, say they go 3-0, what would you predict their record would be at the end of the season? Because a lot of people were saying, what was it with the new 17 game season? A lot of people were saying 7-10. I think some other people were saying 8-9. Some people were even saying 6-11. What do you guys think?
I don't believe that. I think Eagles are easily a 10-win team. At least
they can get it. You think they can eclipse the double-digit mark? Okay.
I mean, look at who we got in our division. Look who we played twice this season. We played the Giants twice. Right. We played the Redskins twice. I mean, not to poo-poo the Redskins now. Redskins are a good team. A little trashy. It has sewage leaking at their stadium. It's kind of disgusting. I don't know if you heard about that sewage leak at their stadium. They got to fix that, and they got to fix a lot of things with their franchise. But one thing I'll say about this is Washington. I mean, we don't know who this quarterback is, man. We don't know who these guys are yet. Redskins lost. The fact of the matter, Redskins lost. Cowboys lost. Giants lost. Daniel Jones is come on, man. I mean, everyone knows Daniel Jones. Everyone except for New York Giants knows it's time to move on from Daniel Jones.
Agreed, 100%, man. Like, dude, it's bad out there. And I think a lot of Giants fans are finally they're dropping back down to earth and back down to reality that Daniel Jones just isn't the guy. He's a second or third string quarterback at best.
Right.
He's not a quarterback to lead your team.
No. And Fitzmagic, I mean, the Magic went out first week. First week Magic is dead.
Let me see how many weeks he's out. Actually, let me read his injury report.
That song at Disney? That Do You Believe in Magic? I don't. I just don't right now because of him being injured. I just don't believe in Magic right now.
Yeah, he's another one, man. He's expected to miss 8 weeks on the IR on the injury report. So it's going to be critical. Can Taylor Heineke get it done for them? Because at the end of the day, I don't care how good your defense is, man. If you don't have somewhat of a game manager, at least a serviceable quarterback in there, it doesn't matter. If your quarterback sucks, like if your quarterback's ass, let's be real, it doesn't matter. If your quarterback, like, he needs to be a game manager. But that's a long time. That's 8 weeks. So you figure this would be week 2. If Fitzpatrick does return, it's not going to be until week 10. By then, their season could already be decided. We'll see, but man,
man. I mean, maybe that defense will keep them in the mix. We'll see.
We got to this, bro. Bosa, Meta versus Jalen Hurts, and Eagles offense. They just do some predictions, some previews. I'm watching some sort of like news for the game. Yeah, the countdown's here, bro. You know, they got the countdown. You know what I mean? 2 days, 15 hours, 37 minutes, 12 seconds until the game starts. So, like I said, man, it's gonna be our first home game, yo. I would love to watch with you guys. It'll be kind of awesome, but I probably won't. But again,
what's your thoughts on Nick Bosa, George?
I mean, I don't know much about him, to be honest, bro. But I'm watching some. I'm watching some sort of like information on him a little bit, and good stats, bro. I mean, I like him. I don't know how much of a three is, but Jalen Hurts and like I said, the offense, bro, we might be okay. Like I said, I mean, well, if we play like I played against the Falcons, bro, I think we could kind of like overcome even him. But clearly, they got good players, bro. And they could definitely I mean, if we don't show up like we usually show up, they can shut us down. And you know what? That's why the fucking people in ESPN, the haters, are talking down on us because we have fucked up in the past, and maybe again, we had some tough seasons. We started well, but we had some stuff in the middle. But then again, we started the season pretty well with a nice win, and it's away too. It wasn't like a home win, and now we're going away. Now it's coming home. So I mean, again, bro, we make it 2-0, bro. I'm hopeful, bro. And I'm gonna say I'm not gonna try to listen to the haters. Not that I do, but I'm just saying the doubters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that, Skip Bayless and shit like that. I mean.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, you can't listen to Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, a Cowboys fan, of course. He's gonna.
He's
Skip Bayless.
People along those lines,
Skip Bayless just says things. Skip Bayless has already openly admitted about just saying things for ratings. Like Skip Bayless, if he doesn't agree with the topic, he'll go the other. Like if he could actually
the script, I know.
No, he could agree with something, and then if somebody else takes the other angle, he'll go the other way just to go against somebody. Just to cause some interest.
Exactly. There we go. So, well, speaking of which, though, since we just mentioned this fucker's name, I mean, they play the Cowboys the next round, the next game after this one. So, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna hear a little bit of that bullshit. But again, he shouldn't phase us. But I also do know one thing, man, and I mean, you guys, because we know what the fuck we're talking about a little bit, somewhat. And not Eagles fans, I should say, casual fanboys that love the Eagles, it's great they love them, but they're gonna be like, oh, we won 2 in a row, we're good now. No, let's keep our fucking feet on the ground, dude. We're gonna hopefully we win the next game, but I mean, we cannot think that okay, now we're gonna be on. We gotta kind of take it a little bit at a time, and that's why I don't want to, say things out of hand. Oh yeah, we're doing great. They just kind of focus on a little bit. I like where we're going. I like this kind of energy, this kind of momentum, like Rich was saying. With that for right now, we should definitely analyze the next game, and possibly me and Steve, me and you, and maybe even Rich could do like a little during the week, maybe fifth time, like a mini segment, like a 20-minute little thing, depending how they progress. Maybe there could be like something to do. Not an actual episode, just like a little mini review, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like I said, something light. But yeah, I have confidence, like I said, man. I like where we're going, man, and I will be tuning in a little more like this week just because of the podcast and see what's going on as far as like the updates. I mean, hopefully no one gets hurt from neither team, really. I'm aware that somebody, wants to get hurt. I mean, obviously could benefit us if one of like the coordinators. Whoever goes there, wherever, plays the guy on the field, man, I just do kind of. And yeah, because I'm excited. I really don't know much else, but I'm excited, bro.
Yeah.
And the win gave us a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it did.
One thing I'll say, that I'll kind of end my point with the Eagles. These guys have a really, really great mindset. If you listen to Sirianni in the locker room, if you listen to him in his press conferences, if you just listen to these guys, or even the players, they call it 17-round world heavyweight championship fight. We got 17 rounds. That means we're just getting through round one. That's what he said in the locker room when the game was over. We're getting through round one. All right. So we got 16 rounds left, and they take it one round at a time. And Jalen Hurts said, "What? I got a 24-hour rule. I'm gonna be happy about this for 24 hours. Just went to the next week."
True. Yo, James Davis down there saying Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce go out to have 500 receiving yards on our defense. Hey man.
I'm playing with my fucking name. I'll drill y'all. Stop playing with my name.
Hold on.
I ain't gonna say it. No more. Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on our name. All right.
Some respect on our team's name, guys. Okay, so he said, pain me to watch Hood Nick Bolton played Sunday, but the Eagles just had a pass on him. Laughing emoji.
Put some respect on my name. You might think. I mean, you might think. They're gonna do that, but then you never know. Eagles could just come up like
surprise, motherfucker.
You never know. Hey, in the NFL, it's any given Sunday. No, I'll be honest. Like, our odds of probably beating the Chiefs you're probably slim. Like, realistically, I mean, the good thing is the game isn't our building. We are home for that game. You know, if we're in KC, I probably wouldn't give us any shot to win that game. If that was a Kansas City game, you had to go to Arrowhead. Eagles fans travel well.
Oh yeah.
Arrowhead is crazy, man. Yeah. You know, trying to play in KC. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, top 5. That was before Mahomes was there. That stadium is a loud stadium. If that was in KC, I would probably not give the Eagles a shot, but you never know. We're home. So we're home. We're also, I believe we're home, right? Yeah, we're also home to when we play Tom Brady as well. So that's
Eagles always got a shot at home. Always got a shot at home.
Oh yeah,
we're be Brady in the past, bro, when he's playing with the Patriots. I mean, yeah, of course the difference. See, Brady's, I mean, he's a goat right now. He's stuck his high right now, dude. The first game, I mean, you know, again, they got their feet wet too, and we'll get to them. You know, when we get to Tampa, we'll get to Tampa, but it does help that it's at home, and I mean, they're the defending champs.
Yeah, we're not playing in Tampa, we're not playing in Kansas City, so both those weeks, you know, ironically,
who are the best teams?
Yeah, we go
right.
to
what?
We actually go to Carolina in between. But I'm like, you know,
in between, yeah, we do.
I'd rather go to Carolina than go to Kansas City or Tampa Bay, though. I'll tell you that. So the schedule actually works in our favor there. You know, we got Kansas City and Philly.
At Carolina.
Then we go to Carolina. Then we come back home and we play Tampa. I'd much rather play on the road in Carolina than go to Tampa Bay and play on the road and go to Kansas City and play on the road. So, you know, usually they screw us with the schedule. But I will say in this regards, you know, it actually works in our favor. And we're finally not playing Seattle for once. Every year I feel like we play Seattle. I don't know what it is. Every single year. And we can never beat Seattle. You can always check Seattle off as an L. For some reason, we can't beat Russell Wilson.
I'm sorry to – yeah, Seattle's also another tricky team. Just for information, guys, we do play, I believe, we play the Lions at, I believe, yep, it's there. It says at Detroit, you know, at Detroit. So the Lions will be away. But we're not too worried about the Lions right now. We're worried more about, like, teams like I said, like Kansas City, something like that, you know, or not.
The Lions
Cowboys,
suck.
Bro.
I'm not trying to hate you. The Lions suck. I mean,
right.
You know, they put Jared Goff up there in Detroit.
Who 24th, bro?
What's that?
24th. Who's that team? So all right. So after Carolina, that's the Carolina, right? Then we got Tampa Bay. Okay, that's home, and then at LV.
That's the Raiders, brother.
That's Las Vegas.
It's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, Vegas. Yeah, Vegas. That's right. I was thinking Raiders. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I mean, we are going to play them away. Okay. Again, we'll get to cover the schedule a little later, too, but not too bad.
We got to play the Raiders, man. I'm surprised they're not in Oakland. They're actually, they're not in Oakland anymore.
They're different now. Yeah. I mean, I'm used to being in Oakland, but yeah. West Coast, I mean. We'll sleep on the Raiders, man, but I have confidence too, man. I mean, that could kind of go either way, but I don't know. They're not a bad team this year. They started well too with a win against the Ravens.
Yeah, my man really think that. I'll tell you right now, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce have 500 each for 1,000 yards, man. You can just we can all turn in our ego. There's no way in hell, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know if a receiver in the NFL is that. I mean, obviously he's kidding, but. I don't think in the NFL.
He's trolling a little, but I get it.
Well, yeah, it's a joke, obviously. But I'm saying, like, I don't think a receiver in the NFL has ever had 500 yards in a game. I'm talking about, like, pro level NFL. I've seen receivers have over 300. I don't think I've ever seen a receiver have 5. Well, I know I never have, but I personally do not think a receiver has had even over 400. Let me see. That's actually a good question. Let me see. Most receiving yards in a game.
Yeah, man. I mean, that is a good question, and you know, Eagles. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
336 yards is the max. So it's a good point. So you down there saying Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce having 500? Stop the cap, brother.
Stop the cap.
Not the cat.
So George, what you think our record is going to be the end of the season? Okay, I'll actually ask you both because Rich, you said you think still hit 10 wins. What do you think they'll end up with if you just had to make a raw prediction? I know it's very, very early in the season. Obviously, you know, We could be wrong. They could go out and lose the next 3 games. But what do you think from just a raw prediction, early prediction?
Raw prediction. Excuse me. Were you asking?
On the record, like the final record is like what do you think our record will be at the end of the season on like early prediction?
I think we'll be 11-6. I think a solid 11-16.
11.
Yeah, and call me overconfident, call me crazy. I've already heard it throughout the offseason. And I told these guys, I told all the Giants fans and these Redskins fans and these, even, of course, Cowboys fans. You always got to tell them because they're delusional every year. But listen, 11-6.
Bro, I remember I saw you back. You were calling a big season back in May, bro. I think I saw you at a patio wax back in May, man. And man, I remember that night, man. You and Rob, we were talking about the Eagles. We were talking about the Sixers too, because the Sixers were about to go into the playoffs. But I know, man, you were big on a big year for the Eagles, hitting double digits on the wins at the time, man. I kind of thought you were crazy, but I'm like, man, you know what? New year. I mean, most people probably would think it's crazy, but I'm like, but now, new year, new coach. You didn't really know much to make really what Sirianni was. Obviously they just judged him off of some goofy press conferences, but I don't care. The guy can be the goofiest guy in the world. You can go into the press conference goofy as hell. If you get the wins each week, you know how to win. You know how to get this team to play as a unit. Who cares? I don't care. I mean, he's dude.
Pete Carroll's a goofy guy. I mean, so what? Pete Carroll's a goofy guy. He's still a winning coach. He usually has a winning record every season. I mean, let me say this one thing because I'm about to go. We're just over the hour here. I'm about to head out. But one thing I want you guys to see. I want everybody to see because I want to represent you. We're hitting the herd season, baby. The herd season. Shout out to LB Lord Brunson, the GOAT of content creators for the Eagles, the best reporting on the Eagles. God bless the man right there, former soldier right there.
Facts.
Good now, I understand we didn't have a lot on this coaching staff, except for a couple of silly press conferences. But I just want to say, I always believed in Hurts. I've seen his flashes. I've seen a little Russell Wilson. He looked like a clone of Russell Wilson on Sunday. And if we see it more, I just want to see it more. And if we see it again this week coming up, we're definitely going to get a lot more respect around the league. If we see it again in week 3 against the Cowboys, they can't deny it anymore. They can't deny it. And so we're going to have a couple of big tests early. This is what I love about our schedule. And with that being said, guys, we want to head out, man. I had a blast with you guys. Always a pleasure coming on the podcast right here, guys. Really appreciate you guys letting me in here, welcoming me back into your home. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to coming back again. Gotta come back. We gotta come back at the very least. Next week, or if not next week, most definitely after this Cowboys game right here. We gotta come back. We gotta talk about this. This is a big deal right here.
Yeah, even if we don't do a pod, because we have to have some guest schedule. But if we actually don't do a podcast on it, man, why don't we do a live or something midweek or something, man? We could definitely.
Great. I just said it earlier, like a little 20 to 30 minute video. I like that. Like, just kind of keep up right, because we can't do 2 right away back to back because we have some stuff lined up. But a small show like on a Wednesday night, dude. He's gonna be in the building, bro, on a Sunday, right? Steve Hollis Thomas, he'll be there because he's doing the practice right now. He's doing a Green Legion right now. I just seen it online.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll definitely hop back into it on the live, man. But thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro. Don't want to take up too much of your time, as I know you're trying to bounce right now, but because you have something to do. But, man, thank you for coming on, bro. You're always welcome here, man. Appreciate you, brother. And thank you for giving us your analysis, your insight, and your record prediction, bro.
Yeah, God bless you guys. God bless you guys, and God bless the Locked In podcast, all right?
Thank you, Doug.
Man. All right, man. And then it's the 2 hosts left in the building. So a few of our guests couldn't make it.
We can go a little longer. 2 more minutes.
But yeah, we can do some closing comments as we kind of close out.
Real quick. So just to because Rich kind of left, and I didn't want to interrupt him, but so I think honestly, bro, I could see us doing like a 10-5, maybe and even possibly 1 type of thing, bro. I can see us being like that. What do you think? I mean, in a perfect world, of course, but I would like to, to see like maybe like 10. I don't know. Some teams we could lose to, but if we get like 9 wins, bro, that'll be kind of like huge for us. I mean, this year, monumental, have a decent record to make the playoffs. Because our goal is to win games and get to the playoffs.
I'm thinking 9-8. Because I'm a kind of a realist. I'm kind of a realist. Of 9-8. If I'm optimistic, 10-7. Yo, Rich is very optimistic with the 11-6. But man, I like the positivity.
11-6 is solid.
I like the energy. I like the positivity, man. Heath is usually like that as well. Very, very positive, but when me and him kind of linked earlier this year in May, kind of called him crazy for picking the double digit wins, but we'll see, man. I mean, this week was only Atlanta. They're probably top 5 worst teams in the NFL right now.
Really great teams.
I'm very curious to see the next 3 weeks. Kansas City would be a very optimistic win. I really probably don't see them winning that game unless there's some big injury. But facts. Shout out Richmond. I just got a comment from him. But Dallas in this week with the injuries to the Niners, winnable games. This week especially because we're home, and I think we're in Dallas next week. Obviously Eagles, Dallas, man, you get hyped up. It's a Monday night game. Whew, I'm gonna have to sheesh. I'm gonna have to take off the next day, man, on that Tuesday. We'll see.
I might come fuck with you, bro, because if I'm not at work, but chances are I'll be working those days because it is gonna be also busy with football. But then again, the last time, I mean, we played on Thursday, so I get it. It wasn't a Monday or Sunday, but I mean, I'm sorry. It was we played it was Sunday. I mean, I'm saying it was Sunday. My bad. But and by the time I got to the game was already over. But they had games though, so I don't know. It wasn't very busy, but other clubs, the laws get a little busy. So yeah, I mean, we shall see. Like I said, you come maybe you don't always come check out a game there, depending how busy on a Sunday. But for the Eagles versus Dallas, dude, I might actually try to look up with you for that one and see where everything kind of goes.
We'll see where we're at, man. We'll see where we are at. I'm probably going to wrap up in about 2 minutes because I've been on here since the 6:30 mark. We went live at 6:30. Been here about an hour and 10. I don't think Heath is coming in tonight. Tom and Marius told me they're both going to make it. Heath told me he was a maybe, but I didn't hold him to coming in.
I thought maybe Heath would have came, but he wasn't really.
He was a maybe. He kind of told me he was going to play it by ear and see what was going down. I'm assuming at this point he's probably not popping in, so no big deal. I know he can hop on a live with us in a midweek. But ultimately, as we kind of wrap up here, guys. So what me and Rich kind of took you through before George got here is we took you through, our early thoughts of what we kind of thought from week 1. George kind of came in towards the highlights. We played a little bit of highlights for the week 1 matchup versus Atlanta that just passed this week. It was a 32-6 victory, big strong victory from the Philadelphia Eagles. We showed some of the touchdown highlights, which was great. We recapped a little bit, went through some stats. We talked about the preparation for this week and the next couple weeks. Record prediction wise, we went through our record predictions. And, we just discussed the NFL season. If we had a little bit more time, I probably would have discussed around the league some teams that kind of stood out with Rich. But, obviously we're a little pressed for time. And we didn't have a ton of guests on here tonight, which would have probably took this episode a little longer. Ultimately, just want to make some quick closing comments. Number one, want to give a quick shout out to Dan Carnegie. Manny, what's Manny's last name, man?
Manny's last name? I forgot actually, but Caraba, I think it's like it was something with a C. Let's call him Manny.
Okay, or is it Manny Caraba? Dan Carnegie, Marius Raffaelli, Frank Fuller, and then I also for joining us live last week on the Locked In Podcasts 1-year anniversary episode, and I also want to give a shout out to James McCormick, and Thomas Vaughn for giving us video shout outs. As well, I'm also not getting paid for any type of sponsorship on here. But if you guys, James, if you're watching this, my friend, this is some free publicity for you. So my guy, James McCormick, he just relaunched his agency website, which you can find at www.paradigmluxurygroup.com. That's Paradigm, Paradigm. Then it's luxury group.com. Guys, subscribe. James offers everything from event planning service to image consulting to luxury yacht and jet rentals. James can hook you up with a lot of great things. He really is a big player in the gentleman's lifestyle. Guys, if you need his services, maybe clothes shopping, fashion advice, he can shop for you. Hit my man James McCormick up. He was in episode 12 of the podcast here. James McCormick. I'll link his website down below here. But always glad to hear my guys doing well out there. And James is a mentor to me. Love to spread the publicity.
Definitely.
So shout out to those guys. Also, next week, 5-0, the big 5-0 of the Locked In podcast. So it's not the 1 year anniversary. We'll probably have a regularly scheduled topic, but we'll definitely take some time to kind of celebrate getting to 50 episodes. Maybe towards the end, we'll cut like 20 minutes short. We'll talk a little bit, about our time, me and George, the roller coaster that we've kind of come to where we are today. But 50 episodes deep, a lot to reflect on, a lot that I have personally learned, I would say behind the scenes of building a podcast, especially with the website development and stuff. Man, it's been a crazy journey. I wouldn't change it, though, because I've learned a lot.
I learned a lot from it, bro. It's definitely a big episode. I mean, it's very special to us. And, yeah, it did not coincide. It probably could have. Again, it would have been more like 51 would have been the 1 year anniversary. Maybe, I think 52, we checked it because we listed 3 weeks. But he ended up with 48. So, again, it's cool. It would be 51. But that means that, like a few episodes ago, like we would have been a little bit higher up. But, again, 48 fell on September 9th, September 10th. And we're glad it went that way. Again, we did need some time off in July and to revalue a few things. There will be some episodes coming up that might be me myself or me and a guest, and some might not be there because of obvious, reasons. We need some, to focus on a few other things. But 50 is a milestone for us, and we're definitely going to bring a good content, bro, a good topic. And we'll see. I mean, we may or may not have a guest, but even if we don't, man, we'll make it nice, bro. We can do like a little bit of everything that day too. And again, fill the time slot very efficiently and, kind of in a good way. I thought today was, even though I came a little late today, I had some trouble coming in, bro, and a little situation. I actually had a headache as well, but that wasn't really like why the reason I was kind of late. I mean, between trying to do some prowess, staying up almost all night, bro, and playing soccer yesterday, my body wasn't recovering that easy. But I made it, bro. I came in so rich. I was like, at first I was like, oh, dang, just rich. Then I was like, well, you know what? Rich is more than enough sometimes. Mayor's been good to have too, or one of those guys, or Heath, because they're so knowledgeable on this topic. But Rich is my man too. He knows a lot of that. So, I mean, I like the highlights, bro. The background is phenomenal. We're happy because Eagles won. See, had they lost, it would have been a different energy. Let's not be fucking, it's not, cap here. Had they lost, it would have been okay. We lost, but we'll see what's up. But the fact that they won is giving us momentum, so we felt good, and he ended up being a pretty good show. You know what I mean? Even though I came a little late, but again, which is why I said, bro, that it's always very essential to start the season great. I think when we start the season with a win, especially away, dude, we usually do pretty well. I mean, we win a lot of games. It's just what I've seen traditionally. I mean, not all the time, but oftentimes it's like goes, bro. When we win the first few games, you know what I mean? And then we'll lose at the 4th game or the 5th. We might lose 2 in a row and come back, with 2 more. There's that. Like when we get like 1 or 2 good wins, we might lose the 3rd one. It's like I've seen in the past happen that way. Sometimes, the players have gotten carried away, and like everywhere else. But again, we're not taking nothing away from his team and jinxing anything, dude. We started well. Maybe this is like a year for redemption for us. I mean, 2020 was a great year overall, and the season last year also wasn't, anything special for us. So I mean, this year could be a difference. I mean, we'll be 40 years going in 40 years after our first Super Bowl win, bro. It's 4 years later. I mean, it's a rebuilding team. It's young. Look what the Sixers. What happened with the Sixers? They got, they weren't doing that well, and we got better and better. And we just won a Super Bowl 4 years ago. Now we had a couple, declining seasons, but we're kind of coming back slowly. So I mean, just again, I'm hopeful. But your prediction's also good, by the way. So I mean, it's also cool. Like it's if your things don't be like 9 and like what was it, 9 and 6 or something like that. I mean, that's not a terrible,
Not 9 and 8, yeah.
Not 9 and 8. Oh, yeah. So.
Well, all right, guys. I think
you guys watching.
I'll play the outro for 2 minutes as we're kind of we end out here. The outro that we'll be playing weekly. But guys, have a great night. I'm gonna hang on here for the outro for 2 minutes as we play us out. But thank you all for joining.
Yep. We appreciate you guys joining
and watching this later on. Drop us a comment down below. It helps the channel. Ultimately, it helps us. Smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to us. Comment. Hit the notification bell. Comment down below. The algorithm ultimately, without you guys, just does not work. But guys, have a great weekend. Let's go Eagles. Let's crush the Niners. As I said, I'm going to hang out here for the outro. George, have a great night, man.
All right, brother. Want to hang out as well. You too, bro.